Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Peggy from the Pearl Forest, and this, can you believe it, is day 30 of hashtag Play Your Hand, where we tried different materials, a challenge to make a hand of 5 journal cards. So on day 30, we are using or making peekaboo pockets. These are the 5 cards that I've chose to use, playing cards. I've covered the backs with 5 different papers. This one is the same paper front and back. And this is the material that I'm using to make the peekaboo pockets. This is part of probably a treat bag. So what we're going to do is, first of all, I think I need to make, well, we have a nice straight line here, so we could go with this side of the bag. So the first thing we need to do is glue on our pockets. So this is a pretty simple project. Hope everyone's doing well today. Because it is so simple, I'm also going to be putting a journal card inside each pocket so that you can see the peekaboo effect. We're merely going around the 3 sides of our journal card. In this case, it's a regular playing card. So I have a nice straight edge here. Make sure we get on. Oops. And that's there. And we'll trim this off like usual after it dries. Not sure how fast it will dry with the plastic. So let's see if we can get 2 under here at the same time. That will be good. So I'll put glue. This is art glitter glue around 3 sides of this card. The bottom and the 2 sides, and the top, we've just arbitrarily made this the top, we will leave open so that we can get in there. So line up the top. These will be some nice fall cards with our fall leaves coming down. Set that there to dry. Now we have 3 separate pieces and not a clear straight line on this one anyway. Although maybe I'll just trim it afterwards. That might be just as easy, if not better. We'll give it a try anyway. So this one I've covered with a green patterned paper. So these will look cute even without anything in them. But with something in them, they'll look even cuter. So this is a little crinkled. So we want to make sure we get it flat. Got a little bit of a fold probably from the side of the package or bag, treat bag. Let's just give this one a little bit of a weight, and I think we'll make this up here the top. This is a magazine. This is coffee dyed paper, scrapbook paper, scrapbook paper, scrapbook paper, and this is from a magazine. Kind of dirt and rocks, but it also sort of looks like trees. But that's what I've picked for this one. Let's see, is this long enough? Is that a straight edge? I believe it is. all the way up. Glue this on there. And this one. And put this one on. This does not have a straight edge, but we will put it up high enough to trim it. I don't want to smish our glue out too much or our cards won't fit that I've cut for them. Okay, we'll set these up here to dry. Our distress ink down where we can get at it. So our 5 cards are drying. Make sure you can see, yes. Okay, so we'll put our slightly bent rusty pen back in the glue. All right, so I have prepared 5 cards to go in the pockets, cut them hopefully to fit. I've punched some different sizes of these decorative squares that we can use for tabs. And we might want to decide on that first so that we don't cover it up. Although maybe, well, we'll play that by ear. So I have several of these in the different sizes. These are both of these papers are scrapbook paper. Oops, back up here. And I punched a few extra because I wasn't sure which colors or sizes that would work best. And then I also have some birds, some butterflies, and some fall leaves, plus the 2 papers that we can tear. Plus I have some photograph punched leaves that we might make use of as well. Let's see if this is laying down good. Let's punch the corners with just the little tiny punch, and this is the We Are Memory Keepers punch, and I'm using the smallest one, just barely around the corners, which is very similar to the corners. Well, I think it is the same as the playing cards. Okay. And if you don't have playing cards, you can cut product packaging. If you don't have these, a business card might work, whatever's going to fit in your pocket. If you don't have decorative cellophane type thing from a gift bag, you can also just use clear product packaging. You could use anything that's mostly clear to make a peekaboo pocket. But the cellophane bags, I think, work pretty good. And I just had the one, but I thought it would be fun to do them different ways. Okay, let's see. You can see how they're different on each card already. So let's do the edges of all of these. So they're done before we put on the tab. We could put a solid colored glued on construction paper, scrapbook paper, or we could put a torn piece down the center. or we could just put on our decorative images. It's kind of whatever we like, and sometimes you might want to just experiment and see what you think looks good. Something that would look good with the leaves and the backgrounds and be fall. I hear some vacuuming upstairs. Hopefully that's not loud for you. I know that sometimes people, you hear a little bit of the banging maybe, I don't know, or thumping around, but sometimes people think you're afraid you might hear lawnmower or something on their video, and then at least my microphone and sound system doesn't hear it. So hopefully you're not hearing this as well. Okay, one more. We're on day 30 of hashtag Play Your Hand Challenge for August 2024. The challenge is almost over. One more day. Okay, let's put a little on these. Do we think we want the big ones, or do we think we want little ones for tabs? We can try both. I think maybe the little ones might be better. Maybe we'll try a couple big ones and maybe 3 smaller ones. So maybe that, maybe those for our choice of those. I have a little box here that hold these. Okay. I think on at least one of them I'm going to tear some of this paper to go down the middle. Yeah, it's dumped all my little pictures. Don't want to do that. That would be a problem. So what if we put this down the middle, tear this little piece off, tear this edge, see how this looks. Add a little extra something in the background. We'll trim the edges a little bit. I like this dark end, so I want to make sure I get that on. Maybe we'll decide on all of them as we decide on the and while we decide on what else goes on. See if we can fold these in half, match up these. Okay, they're not going to be very tall tabs. I could use 2 of these and go back to back. Maybe we'd do that on one to see how that looks. So let's stick this on a little bit. This one up. This will help get it out of the pocket. Maybe we need some art glitter glue. Coming out. Yeah. So there's one tab and one card. And let's just put this bag of clipped ones here. And I think I'm gonna dump these on the desk so that I don't dump them somewhere else, not on my desk. So we have these. Now these are gonna go in a card. Oops, that one needs to be re-glued a little bit. So they'll go in like this. Like that. So we can think, what would we like to put on this one with this edge? We do have a little bird that can be in the leaves. He does go off, lose his tail. I still think he looks really nice on there though, like he's down in the leaves. So let's try him on this one. While you have the tag in the pocket, you really won't see the paper on the card very much. It'll just be an edge. And I have no idea where the leaves are going to hit the bird. So I shouldn't have done his tail because we're not putting that on. I want his beak though. So hopefully they're not, you know, covering up his face or something. But we can try a different card if we need to get him placed in there right. So we'll trim this off. So there's one. Now maybe we try a little bit of the orange down the middle of one. How down do we need to go? That looks like enough. That's probably good. It's got a torn edge on one side and a decorative edge on the other from the punch. Does that bother us? It doesn't bother me, so I'm gonna go with it. Just get two different textures here. Save this little one. Throw that part away. And let's do the opposite colored tab. Can we do the big one? Yeah, I think we could do the big one on this one. Split in half. And let's do the art glitter glue. I think it will be more secure. So cover the whole little decorative tab here. Part of it will stick to the card and part of it will stick to the rest of the tab. So speaking of sticking to my hand. Okay, so we stick this, pinch that together, wipe up any extra glue. Okay, we have another bird that could go in there. We also have, oops, this butterfly, which is a little big, and we have this butterfly, which might be more subtly in there. If we put this one on here, maybe that one. If we put it down at this end, we could also have a leaf coming down. Let's do the edges of these leaves. And maybe a little more on it so it's brown. It's kind of simple. You can always add a word later. So this I'm making to line up with this one's peekaboo pocket parts. So this will be the yellow one. And you can kind of see it down there. So I'm going to stick it here. I don't know if this one, yeah, could go in there. Got this little overlapping pieces. So that will go in that one. And we have this green one, and the brown one, and this orange one. Now, let's do one that just has leaves. See if there's any leaves in this one that we want. I could put some of those, part of our picture punches. Couple leaves coming down. And we also have, whoops, these leaves. Here's a nice red one. Maybe another one of our little ones here. Let's have another color. Let's see, do we have any brown? Maybe we'll put some brown up here. That makes a nice mixture on here. Put this down a little bit. So we put this on first before the leaves, or at least before the last leaves at the top. Try to fold this in half. Looks like we're off a little bit. You won't see that though, really, because it'll be on the two sides of the card. Okay. Try to keep these from falling off while I stick this on. Now we can put this one on. So these are a mixture of magazine or catalog, photo, and scrapbook paper. So you can punch these out of most anything. I also have some that are punched out of coffee dyed paper. Let's see, put this one down. Get these little stems and leaves down underneath. Oops. Yeah. So other things might actually go over the top of them. Sorry, I have a bit of a croaky voice today. If there's something in the air. Okay, so let's do this one next. There's a lot of leaves you can do out of photo pieces, because the various parts, of the photo make for interesting leaves. I just dropped my leaf, but I have another one. You don't need to see me dive under the table. This one out here. And the back of each of these has writing paper. They're actually just cardstock, so they're ready to be written on. Okay, so this one, I didn't really pick one for it. Maybe this one here. Okay, so what do we want to do for these two? These two are different, but we could try gluing them together. One side would be printed and one side will be solid. So put this one on halfway up and put this one on top of it. I get these decorative punches usually at the thrift store. I was excited to find one of these recently because I thought it would make a really fun punch, only to just find right before this video that I already had one. So it means one for my mom. She can have it instead. So we'll each have one. Okay, so we have a different one on each side. Let's do this for the front. And then let's fold this one again and put it on as a big tab on our other card. And we'll see what we want to put on these and which card we want to do with which. I kind of think I want to do this one. I don't know why. It just feels like that's the one it should go on. And that one should go on there. So let's see. We have some space like that. I think it would be kind of fun to hide a butterfly in there, in amongst the leaves and on the brown. Be kind of camouflaged and a fun little surprise to pull out. Except you won't see the card behind when you're doing it. Let's see, it's about here. We could add some other leaves also. Oops. Flung something over here. Should we add, well, I was going to distress this a little bit around the edge so it's not so white. I wanted it to be quite circly there, but then we have some subtle little leaves in similar paper. but we'll edge them. We could just hide them in the background here. Things are usually better in threes, so we'll put a third one on here. Down this side here. I think we'll go with that. Using the art glitter glue. There. There. And this one. Feels like it needs something there, but usually threes are better, but the butterfly is one. So maybe this is like 5 things. To make a patterned background. So these are the 2 punches. And they will go off the edge. That. Turn these up. There we go. Go with that one, and then for our last one, we could put this kind of tropical bird in there, and maybe behind him, maybe put some leaves. This. Give him a little bit of color behind him. Hopefully these end up in the right place. I'm just making an educated guess. My art glitter glue bottle is getting a little low again. Might have to fill that up. Oops. Definitely it's getting time to clean the desk again with the glue and all the extra supplies that I got out that we did not use. Okay. Now let's put the bird on. Sometimes the little parts wiggle. This does direct the glue in places you probably want it. Art glitter glue does work well. Now let's see. Just like that. These are 3 extra leaves. Okay, and cut this one off. Hopefully our peekaboo pockets have dried. so we can put our little journal cards in our pockets. And then we will be done with this one. Put our glue pin in. Okay, so let's try this one. I think you can find these little cellophane gift bag party favor bags at the dollar store and in party sections or party stores. Lots of different places, but the best place to find them is when you go to an event or you have one and you have a few extras that you can just recycle. Recycling is always great. Okay, so there's our pocket. Here's our journal surface. My fingers are so covered in glue. I'll just lift this up slightly and slide our card in. Whoops, that corner needs a little extra. And we have our bird sort of hidden in the leaves. And we have a tab to be able to get it back out. So we need a little bit. Come on, bottle. We need a little bit in this corner. All right, glue, come on. Just give us a little bit of glue. Oh, it's being very stubborn. Time to clean out the tip and maybe restock. Start a new bottle or something. Okay, there we go. We're getting at least some glue. Okay, we'll set this over here with that on there. I'm not sure how weighty that is at the moment. Okay, we'll do this one. Hopefully it doesn't need to be re-glued. Scissors are gluey as well as my fingers. So I'm running into something here. Just trimming the cellophane off at the edge. You could cut these to fit better if you wanted and not have to trim them, but like I've said before, I'm not good at matching the edges. So I prefer to do them afterwards. So here's our opening at this end. We'll hide our butterfly moth in here. The cards are a little tight or something, but I'm popping this one off. I don't want to get that too close. We'll kind of, and if we have to, we'll just trim the card down a little bit so it's a little narrower. We'll just have to redo the corners and redistress the edge. Sometimes you have to scrape off all the sticking parts to get your scissors to cut straight again. I'm thinking that my little cards to go inside just need to be just a whisker smaller. Just putting a little too much pressure on the corners. So, and this one, our paper's coming up. Come on, bottle. We're almost done. If we just get cooperation out of the glue and we get our corners to stay glued. It's coming up all along that side. There we go. Open this end. There we go. Stick our card in carefully. And there's our bird hiding in our peekaboo pocket. Oops, there. With the little tab. And we'll do this one. I think it's a good idea to leave your glue to dry really well with the plastic, because the plastic doesn't breathe like paper does, so it takes a little longer to dry. I believe this is the one we were putting in here. Is this the top? Should be the top. Sorry for my ugly gluey fingers. There we have our butterfly inside, and our last one here. Okay, so this one goes in our green one. Slip this into its peekaboo pocket. There we go, with its tag. Hopefully that's all down there good. So here we are for day 30 of our hashtag Play Your Hand, where we make a hand of 5 journal cards. Today was peekaboo pockets with playing cards. Here's one of them with a tropical bird hiding in the leaves. There he is, hiding in there. Here's one that's just leaves in the leaves. And this one is a butterfly and a leaf hiding in here. This one is a bird on a little strip of scrapbook paper hiding in there. And then this one is a butterfly and some coffee dyed distressed paper with him hiding in there. So you can see this one is a little wet still there, but you can see the borders around them of what the back is. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our hand of 5 cards. Peekaboo pockets on day 30. Thank you for joining me. This is Peggy from the Pearl Forest, and I look forward to seeing you on the last day tomorrow of this challenge of August 2024. It will be day 31. Thanks for joining me.